So this is body and mind. That's the approach, and that's the conception, and that's the philosophy. You always can reinvent yourself. You always can rediscover yourself. You can reboot yourself. You can redesign your life.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dave, making the change, optimize your health and mind with my co-host, Karina Safarova. We did interview her before, and what an amazing interview that was. But today, we really wanted to talk about things that really kind of motivate us and help get our mindset to where we need to be. As we've kind of learned, some of the most important things about making this change and really getting yourself to that next level, there's a few things that are really important, right? So I would say number one would be, where's your mindset? Number two would be, what's your motivation? And number three, what's your movement? All right, so let's kind of go through those things. And by having a mindset and a motivation and a movement, that's going to allow you to get from point A to point B, to get closer to where you really want to be in your life. And what I have seen, especially speaking to somebody like yourself that's been a motivator, transformational life coach, you have so much experience with this mindset. How do you find how important mindset is to success?
I think that your mind is number one asset, and mindset is number one what makes it important. Because I always question people, and right question can save you years. Right question can save you life. And it's very important to watch your thoughts. So, for example, if client comes to me or patients, and I cannot change their life, but I can always shift their thinking, shift their attitude, shift their mindset. And this is crucial. It's about attitude and gratitude, and towards the most important, change and choice. So you can always change and you can always choose. So to choose what to think, to choose how to think. And that's why working with mindset is absolutely number one thing you have to do. And to elevate your thinking, to change your thinking, to level up, you need to change the way you think.
So what techniques do you use on people to kind of help them understand what their mindset is, right? Because you can't change it until you really know where your starting point is, right?
Of course. So I use technique of choice. Like I help them to learn how to make healthy choices and how to make right choices and high quality decisions. That's why I like working not just with mindset, but with physiology as well. Why it's important, because you can change your body, you can change your emotions, you can change the way you think, and you change your decisions. And in my programs, I always give students on task every day 3 high quality decisions. 3 high quality decisions. So making early healthy choices, implement new healthy habits, implement the system of creating new vision of thinking and implementing new lifestyle like this. So it's not a quick fix. It should be like a system every single day, like a discipline.
Right. And I think a lot of times when we are trying to make changes, we do want a quick fix. We do want the solution.
Yeah, it's like metrics.
Right. And it's really important to put that effort in, to really make a difference in your daily habits and your daily schedule, your daily mindset. It's an exercise routine. And that's why we've spoke about this before, where you have workbooks for different programs that you offer, different life coaching programs that you offer, because they all need to go in a different direction. How much help do they need in certain areas? How much success do people need? Where are they coming from? It all plays a really important part from where you're starting to where you're going. And the other component that I think is very important on how you're going to get from A to B is to have that inner motivation.
And role model and mentor. You need to know your role model. Role model is also number one. You have to know who is your role model. And then you start building your core message, your core signature story, build your credibility, and knowing where do you want to go, what is next, what is your why and why. So, and having a plan, because for me, success is not about dreaming or in life, not is about judging or blaming or demanding. It's about doing, and it's about implementing. Every single day, you need to implement new knowledge, new or something you get like new hard skill. You have to implement this. It should be like a system.
But how does that fit into the motivation?
You write a revision every day. So my whole task to my students and clients, they write every day revision. So for example, today my role model was this person and I learned these new hard skills. And now, and I took like 3 this high quality decisions. And now I implement them. So tomorrow I'll be phenomenally better than I was yesterday. This is the trick. So I use logotherapy. That's why I created these workbooks where people have revision every single day. They answer 2 many questions. And it took me a few years to create all workbooks, but this is really work.
Well, the other thing that I like to talk about with motivation is we all have it inside of us. Some of us are a lot more attached to their motivation. I live with it on my shoulder. I'm very passionate about everything that I do. Same thing with you. I could tell that you're always motivated. You're always ready to go for success. And I think a lot of people don't really know how to get in touch with their inner motivation, how to wake themselves up. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. So what tools do we have? I definitely like what you said before, as far as a role model and a mentor that we could kind of model ourselves after. One of my business coaches was telling me, it's kind of really silly. We go through life and we want to do something better than somebody else. Well, why don't we just copy what they did and improve on it? So it's the same thing I find with a mentor or role model. And the more that I've gotten into this arena of self-help, looking to change and be successful, the more successful people that I meet, the more money that they're spending on their own mentor, their own role model, their own mastermind groups, because you start to realize by yourself you're limited. And when you get around the right people, they could not just improve on what you do, but can enhance every aspect of your life when you're surrounded by the right people. So part of my motivation is making sure I'm able to surround myself with those people that are going to lift me up, and not just, I don't want to be surrounded by my friends that are going to drag me down. I want to surround myself with people that are bigger than where I want to be, that they can help me to see beyond the trees, beyond the branches, because I feel we have limitations until we really know we don't. You don't understand that there's nothing stopping you but yourself. And part of that is understanding that our world has been put here for us to paint like a blank canvas. And the only reason it doesn't become a beautiful canvas is because you don't use the paintbrushes that you were given. You don't use all the colors that you were given, and you don't use your imagination. And all of these things are inside of us. So how do you have a beautiful painting? It's because your mind gets creative. You have the proper instruments and the proper tools. So as far as motivation, how do we help people find that inner motivation?
Well, first of all, we are limitless. If my podcast is Limitless Success. And life is about meeting a lot of people and learning a lot of lessons. At the same time, life is about the books you read and people you mix. So my best friends are books, really. But I know how to implement the knowledge I get, the information I get into life and make it work for me. So what I see, I know what's good for me. And I'm mission driven. So I haven't been born like with a candy, and my life has not been like a candy. And I don't want to be heartbreaking. I'm very mission driven. I know what I want, and my goals are very beautiful. They make me excited. So every day I wake up excited. And it's not about making a huge amount of money. It's about waking up excited. That's the number one crucial point, to wake up excited and happy, in a good mood. I know so many people, I lived in London 10 years, so they have money, they do not have life. You do not have smile on their face. And that's very sad.
Well, I think we kind of use that on a daily basis at work, where we try to get people's mindset in the right direction. We start off the day, we say a prayer, try to say something inspirational.
This is discipline.
But the other component to that, what I started doing is telling people to smile, right? So just because you're not happy, but when you smile, you tend to get happy.
Your heart starts smiling, and the world will smile.
Right. And then the world sees you smiling and automatically thinks you're happy and changes how they treat you, changes how they react to you. But one of the things that you said, which I thought was really important, so as we're looking at our motivation for things, you brought up goals.
Yeah.
So goals and motivation, mindset and motivation, they all come in together. So finding your goal, and you started to get into this before, right? Our goal, our purpose, are those the same thing? Not necessarily, right? Our purpose is what we were put on this earth. Our goals are what we think we desire.
Yes, and what we need.
What we think that we need.
Yeah.
But when we start living for our purpose instead of what our dreams are, we start to realize that those dreams are already in.
The difference between goal and dream, goal is having a plan, a solid plan. You have to know your plan, step-by-step plan, and you have to keep your pace, because patience is a virtue. And sometimes people want it straight away now, but they do not understand that they need a plan. And that's why the power of mentorship is so important, because mentor is a guidance. Mentor is creating for you this plan. And some people, they just miss inspiration and motivation and proper mastery, guidance, the techniques. Revision is one of a great mastery tool. You have to analyze every single day, especially before you go to bed. It's like your prayer in the morning.
Right. And I think that's also an important point, right? So it's to start off your day right. Then you go through the middle of your day. And a lot of times your middle of your day is where you need to do your resetting,
Exactly.
right? You're going through all these things in your life, and they kind of throw you off kilter a little bit. And then you get down towards the end of your day, and sometimes you're like, oh man, I'm so happy I'm here. I finished everything I needed to finish. Well, other times you're stressed out because you haven't got to them. But that's the best time to end your day with knowing that you did everything you can, and tomorrow is going to be better, and we're going to get further along tomorrow than we were today. And I think just by having that in your mind really helps.
For me, success is when I go to bed, I put my head on the pillow and I sit down. It was such a good day. I did so many great things. I've been a valuable woman. I've been a great mother. I've been very impactful mentor. I've been just a good person, an amazing soul and friend. This is like, you have to use your day in the best way. Today is always the best way. That's why you need to wake up happy and excited. You need to wake up in a good mood, and you need to look around and see that, because sometimes people, they forget to smile.
True.
There is no gratitude. Why I practice a lot of gratitude and attitude. So choice and change, gratitude and attitude. I delete words if and but, because my world is world of no excuses.
That's my little mnemonic that I came up with, which is bit, right? So you don't, the words that you don't use but, you don't use if, and you don't use try.
And if. It's also like,
that's the,
find it in a very, very like excuse. So yeah, because your superpower is no one is you. Nobody will bring you this red pill like in movie Matrix, and you have to do it. Like, no one is you.
right. Individualism is really important. So I included those three things in my book too, because I found that, again, it's part of the limiting beliefs, and it's part of when you're communicating well with people. And I always found it funny, like you could say a whole conversation with someone, right? And I could tell you, Karina, you're so beautiful and you're so sweet. And as soon as they say that one word, but, and now you don't even want to hear what comes next. And I think people really get away from that because those are excuse words, right? But is an excuse word.
Word, like parasite.
Like if. So what's the benefit of that word, right? So if I was able to do this, then I would able to do that. No.
Just find an excuse. Like, life is about doing, not about blaming. Like, oh, if not the war in Ukraine, I would be now a billionaire. No, I'm good mentor now in United States. I'm doing my best I can do, and I have this day, and I want to do the best what I can do with this day. So people judging, they also like find thousands of reasons to explain. First of all, they lie to themselves. You need to be like very transparent and to be honest with yourself. Questionnaire is very important to question yourself. What am I doing? Where I am? What is my core message? What I'm broadcasting? What is my legacy? Why people should listen to me? Why they should waste time watching me or speaking to me? And I use this tactic like every human being is the most human being. So that's why I prefer to have not many clients and customers and people, but everyone's special. So this is like a approach to treat people with respect and to use this tailor-made approach, working with on a very high level.
I think one of the benefits that we're able to offer at Pure Wellness Medical, because we don't just deal with the medical, we deal with your life. So we deal with your emotional component, your physiology, your body, your mind, and it all fits together.
Exactly.
And if I don't help your body, how am I really going to fix your mind? If I don't fix your mind, how am I going to fix your body? And I think in medicine, we kind of try to treat patients like they're a textbook. And if you don't establish that emotional connection where people are going to tell you the truth, they're going to tell you how they feel, they're going to get into those sensitive issues with you, you really can't help them. Because a lot of times I don't know what's going on physiologically because your mind is messing everything up.
This one's very important: physical, emotional, spiritual transformation. So that's why working with all together is really effective, because you have to count on cardinal situation. I have so many clients who really, they understand we change their thinking, but because of their hormones, like they are hyper emotional, some people suffer from anxiety. So sometimes you cannot fix the whole situation just with pill or treatment or medicine. Sometimes you cannot fix the situation of the client just with mindset session, like even it's the typical session, all goes very perfectly, because he needs help. He needs to be monitored by doctor. He needs to take this medicine. He needs to boost his metabolism or detoxing your body. So that's why this is the best what you can do to watch after your body and to watch after your mind at the same time.
Right. I think we go through life, try to compartmentalize things. But when it comes to treating the mind, the body, and the soul, you really can't take them apart. It's all the same human being, the same child of God. And that's how you really need to approach helping people realize what they have inside themselves. You have gone through amazing circumstances in your life, and it still hasn't beat you down. But I do notice when you hear someone else that's not accountable for their own life and their own mistakes, you say, what I've been through, and look where I've been able to come from. How come you can't? So not that you're comparing someone, but you're trying to let them know that your circumstance is bad, but other people's are bad too. So you still need to be accountable for yourself.
Tactical. So like I wake up people, I activate people through my own awakening story, through my own very challenging story. So being in my position, I do not feel miserable at all, and never did, even when I lost all, like when I'm totally alone in a new country. I'm the most positive person in the world, because you are what you think. Is that I look after my body, I'm healthy, and by the way, since you started thinking after me like a doctor, I'm doing better and better. I have total transformation in my life, and I feel like I'm 20.
Yeah, I've noticed not just the physiologic component of what we see, but I've noticed a change in your mindset, and it's always been positive, but it used to be high, low. It's a lot more high.
Yes.
You deal with things differently, easier.
Because I feel better physically, because before I couldn't sleep properly because too many things were on my mind and all the issues happened in my country, my mother. So now I'm absolutely focused, and I feel very, very vital. I'm like a bird radiating, spreading love and vitality. And so physical health is important. I tell this like a mindset mentor, always saying, if you're thinking, change your mindset. No, you have to work on this together. It's like you have right arm and you have left arm. They work together. Like if you need to cut a good piece of meat, you need both of arms. And so this is body and mind. That's the approach, and that's the conception, and that's the philosophy. You always can reinvent yourself. You always can rediscover yourself. You can reboot yourself. You can redesign your life.
So it's really important to understand that, as you brought out those instances, right? You have a choice. Your choices are going to give you a chance to make an opportunity. When that, it's very important for that self-realization, that self-analyzing. And I think a lot of times people miss that component. Like you were saying before, how important it is to be able to make those changes to how important it is for you to be able to look inside yourself so you can adapt and make the correct response to something that's going on. Because just because how we feel doesn't always mean that we're going to make that correct response. And
to know that this is correct.
Right. And that's where these tools and these workbooks are really essential. So what we really need to let people understand is this: you don't need to have this done by a medical professional. You don't need to have this done by a professional coach. You could do this on your own. But if you want to get the real results, you need somebody that's been through it before. You need someone that has had the ability to help other people through these scenarios, right? So I always tell people when they go for a therapist, usually for a psychotherapist, and they don't interview them. Oh, my insurance paid for this one. Well, that doesn't mean that's the right therapist for you just because your insurance pays for it. You know, maybe if you're a faith-based person and they're an atheist and they don't believe in the same things as you, their guidance to you is not going to align with what your belief system is. So it's really important, and not saying that what they're saying should be discounted, but their solution might not line up to what your solution should be. So it's important to be able to find a therapist that not necessarily that you agree with, but that you can work through your issues. And I think that's, a lot of people don't do that when they find a therapist or they find a mentor, they find a coach. It's not just a referral. It's that interview component. We're not recommending that people just go find a life coach or a mentor. You need to interview them. The same way you interview when you're going to medical school, when you're going to college. You don't just go to one school. Or maybe you do if you're lucky. But you need to have that interview process to see not just if you're right for the college, but is the college right for you? And that's one of the things that we're really starting to understand with when you do change this mindset, when you do have motivation. The next part is, now you got to move.
What's next?
Right. Now you got to.
That's why I use the most popular mastermind and masterclass, become the CEO of your life and your health, because you need to know your next step. You need to know what's next. And if you have proper mindset, what's next is always better. So, and you have to know your why, because sometimes, what you want, it's not good for you. So normally I use this technique. I ask many times, like 5 times minimum, what do you want? And then you answer like, I want my private jet. And I ask you why. And because it's prestigious. And I say, but why? Why do you need this? What's in it for you? So this like 5 times why is really working. It's kind of very awakening. Why? And you have to ask yourself why. Why I'm thinking about this right now? What is the benefit for me with thinking about it? Because sometimes we cannot change something. So you need to choose only good thoughts for you and ask yourself, why? Why do I need it? Why do I need to think about this? Oh man. And so that's how we become more, when we choose what we think, when we choose what we eat, when we choose what we talk to, when we choose what to read. It's all about choice and high quality.
Right. But those high quality choices are not always easily made. A lot of times that's where the research, that's where the work goes in, that's where the workbooks help.
Yes, because you do revision, you question yourself, and this is kind of, you have your own mastery tool and your strategy, because you know that this is what I do not need. This is what this is will not leverage my life. This is not gonna elevate me. This is not going to make my day better, my future better. Like I say, you cannot you cannot wear my shoes, but you can learn from my steps. So I always share with people that life is about what you believe. So you need to know what you believe and what is good for you.
And the other component of that is you can manifest your life to how you want it to be.
Yes.
That's not just me. It's been proven that positive mindset changes your whole life. You become happier, better things happen for you. There's that book that I told you about, The Super Attractor, where she talks about how you manifest your thoughts and you know, are able to go from a negative thought to a positive thought just by going through some exercises similar to what you're able to provide in your workshops, because it's so important to be able to reset yourself, not just on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. The other thing is, don't let things get to you. Don't let things get you upset, because getting upset isn't changing the problem.
Yes.
Spend your energy finding solutions. And a lot of times that solution might just be, you know what? I'm going to give that up to you, God. It's too much work for me. I need you to put the opportunity in front of me. I need you to give me the answer, because I don't have, that doesn't mean you stop trying. It just means that sometimes you realize there's a supernatural power that you need to have to fix some of these situations.
What I call awareness. You have to be aware what's going on, and sometimes listen and look around. And of course, manifesting. Manifesting works really good. Like, you can manifest whatever you want in life. This is the question of time, and this is something what is really good for you. If universe wants really for you, you good.
The problem I see with a lot of people when they're talking about manifesting is, again, it's not on our time. Just because you're manifesting something doesn't mean it happens tomorrow or when you need it. It's manifesting in general. So it's going to be there, but you have to align your blocks in the right order to get there. You have to get prepared to receive that manifestation, that
River cleansed by water, so you have to remove all limiting beliefs. Some of them are really insanely crazy. Like, you have to remove all things that they do not leverage you. You have to remove all people you don't grow with. Unfortunately, I'm all about detachment. So I'm very easily to build a very effective model of life. So if I see I don't grow with this friend, or I don't do good things, I will never have it in my life. I will always care, but I will say goodbye. I will find 10 reasons not to spend time together, because it's all about high quality decisions.
And now we know why Karina only talks to me twice a week, because she knows we want to get herself obsessed with insignificant thought process. Just teasing. We talk on a daily basis. You're my life coach. I'm your physician, so it's kind of a hand-in-hand scenario, which is how we came up with our concept of really treating the entire mind, body, and soul. So in order to help everybody here, we discussed mindset and motivation and movement. How do we get started? What do we do to keep ourselves excited about it? And then how do we make that movement to where we need to be? So what we're going to do is I would like to give everybody that's listening some homework.
Yes.
So every day you need to journal. And in that journal, you should start your day out with gratitude. Just do 2 things that you're happy for when you open your eyes. That's going to get your mindset in the right direction. The next thing is write 2 things that motivate you to get out of bed every day. And the third thing is, what are the 2 actions that you're going to make to start to make that movement towards where you want to be?
It's like the exercise we did with you. Like, do you remember I told you what is really the ideal standard, what you are not happy with, and write 3 steps to each. What I'm ready to do today. And believe me, you have all to be happy and you have all to make it. So you just need to start.
You have the tool. Now you have homework. So come check us out next week. Maybe before that, we have some more posts. So follow us on YouTube. Don't forget to like us, follow us, and subscribe.
And make home tasks.
And do your homework. All right. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.